Welcome to the Zero Racing series from Sonoma, the WTCC layout. With me, as always, is Mr. Byron Derksen. Say hello to the people, Byron.
Hi! Welcome back to the internet. Yay!
He is returned from computer failure and is here to give commentary.
R.I.P. the thermal take bronze 850 watt power supply. It was a mighty and majestic beast and served me well for over 10 years, and then just died at the most inconvenient time.
I mean, I don't think you can complain about a 10-year lifespan of a power supply.
No, not at all. That thing's been through like 3 different systems.
I've actually never killed the power. Like, the power supply back from the computer I first built still works. The rest of the computer doesn't, but the power supply does.
Be prepared for that to pack it in at some point. But yeah,
it's not even being used for anything anymore at this point.
I went to go start the system back up again, and it made this almost inaudible. Like, I had to get down right next to the computer and listen to it, and from within the power supply there was this little I was like, what the fuck is that?
What did it end up being anyway?
I don't know. Power supply just DFO. So got new power supply. Got another thermal take, because if it ain't broke, ain't no need to be repairing it. But this one's gold, not the bronze. And it does have the RGB fucking lights in it, but I turned those the fuck off because I'm not an idiot.
You don't really get the point of those.
No, neither. I mean, I guess it would look kind of cool, like underlighting on my computer case, but I don't want people to be looking at it.
I don't really get the point of that in general. Like the headphones, the headset I'm wearing right now has like the stupid RGB lights on the side, and I'm like,
but I'm wearing them.
Why would I ever use these?
I'm wearing them. Who am I showing off to? What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like someone said, like they use them at LAN parties to distinguish who's on what team. I guess that's kind of cool, but that's
just make everybody wear. Just get some crate paper and make everybody hats.
That would work too. Or just do like skins versus shirts.
There you go.
Anyways, we're about to kick this thing off at the Sonoma racetrack, WTCC layout. First race is going to be 20 minutes, and then we have a second 20-minute race with reverse grid. So keep that in mind when it comes to battling for positions. The top 15 will be reversed, so the guy who finishes in 15th in this race, he gets pole for the next race.
It's going to be Clap.
Clap is not here.
Therefore, even Molaster place.
On the front row, we got Caleb Gonzalez in the Mercedes there, the snakeskin Mercedes, I believe is you like to refer to it as.
Correct.
And joining him on the front row in the Stevenson Motorsports Audi is Paul Riccaboni, which is the one with the, I guess that's an eagle on the side. I'm not entirely certain.
Now I'm having, shit. What was the name of that? Frisky Dingo flashbacks.
Frisky Dingo.
Stop grinding on my back!
And they are up. By the way, welcome back, Stefan Gervais to the grid. The Psycho Nerd has returned.
Excellent. That guy's all wonky.
He is in the black Audi there that we are focusing on. Looks like Caleb has gotten off. Caleb has gotten off in the lead from Paul Riccaboni, Gerardo Delvale, and the top silver car man once again is Simeon Naku, followed by Ariel Zattoni rounding off the top 5, and on his tail is Joe Racer. Also, a welcome back to Zero veteran Michael Schneider, who's running in 7th place in the Falcon Motorsports Porsche. The Falcon Motorsports Porsche has a very distinct color. It is that aqua green and blue car that you'll see in some of the shots. That's a pretty prominent race team, and it looks like Caleb has already pulled out almost a full second. Jesus Christ. The Mercedes is on the run.
Car on the run.
Interesting note here, with Caleb leading, it should be mentioned, no driver and no car has won 2 races this season. So if Caleb can win in that Mercedes, that streak will continue of a different car winning every race.
But what happens if he gets shot by a sniper?
Then probably not. Although, I mean, I guess it's possible that Simeon Naku or Gerardo Delvale can win. And they are driving, Ariel Zattoni and Gerardo Delvale, as the Rough and Mercedes marks have not opened their win accounts yet. Speaking of which, there is the Falcon Motorsports car I was talking about there. Michael Schneider in the aqua green and teal blue kind of affair there.
It's hideous. I dig it.
Gerardo Delvale has been booted off the podium by a proper Porsche in the form of Simeon Naku. Although he is still in the fight along with Ariel Zatoni, Joe Racer has kind of dropped off the back of this in the McLaren. He is followed by Wesley Stokes, Dean Reimers, and debutant Wayne Hutchinson, who's in 10th place.
I am also reasonably stoked.
That's good to know. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a blinking car there from Ariel Zatoni. Not surprising, Ariel is from a relatively distant part of the world. He is Argentinian.
He's just signaling. He's being polite. He's like, I'm coming around to the left. Blink, blink, blink.
And it should be mentioned we will probably get, there's a really good chance we'll get a new winner because the only guy in the field who has won a race this season is Paul Riccobeni. We are missing, I swear there was like some virus going through the ESR community because Darcy Parkinson was down with some kind of bug. Martin Edmonds was down with some kind of bug. Ben Swarey was super sick. It was weird.
I think Martin, he put something in the la poutine and then it went all bad.
And everybody ate the poutine. It was not
yeah.
good.
Poutine is delicious. Even have had tracks on top. You eat that anyway.
Caleb Gonzalez has pulled out to about a 2-second lead over Paul Riccobeni at the front of the pack. Simeon Naku third, Gerardo Delvale fourth, and Ariel Zatoni still in the back of that. You can see Joe Racer leading a little bit of a trail after that. Includes Michael Schneider, Wesley Stokes, and Wayne Hutchinson, along with Richard Higgs. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to Bo Stamper, who's having a pretty good race. He's up from 17th on the grid to 11th place.
Herr Stamper. Michael Schneider is a carrot. Can't help myself. I'm very sorry, but not really that sorry.
He's not that sorry. Looks like a mistake has been made by Paul Riccobeni because he's dropped way back. Joe Racer off the track. Paul Riccobeni has smashed the front end. Wesley Stokes and Joe Racer come together, and it looks like some significant damage to the front end of the Audi of Paul Riccobeni. That's going to hurt the championship leader considerably.
5-minute major in the box, unnecessary roughness, first down.
So the field has been completely reshaped by that. Gonzalez now leads from Naku, Delvale, Zatoni, Schneider, Racer, Hutchinson, Higgs, Stokes, and Riccobeni. Riccobeni is he seems to be still having some decent pace. He's kind of holding off Bo Stamper, but he's definitely going to be hindered by that heavy damage to the front end of his Audi.
I have that problem sometimes.
Heavy damage to your front end?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Or damage to your Audi, because I know you don't have an Audi.
I do not. I'm enjoying the memes floating around where they just put like an H apostrophe in front of that and Photoshop a cowboy hat on top of the car, and it's called the Howdy.
I like that.
It is very entertaining. That reminds me, I haven't strolled through our Spubby in a while and found like all the really corrupted logos. I always find at least 2 really good car logos and post them up on the Discord.
Indeed. And in the meantime, the pressure is still on Naku, who's running in second place with Delvale on his tail in the battle of Porsche versus knockoff Porsche. I have explained the whole rough thing before. They're a car tuning company. They specialize in Porsches. That's really all you need to know on the matter.
I do like cartoons.
Wesley Stokes putting the pressure on Richard Higgs and forces a mistake out of Higgs. He'll move up into 8th place. You can still see Paul Riccobeni holding on to the back of this despite the damage to the car. He is a fast driver, but I feel that damage has pretty much ruined his chances of getting an actually properly good result.
Is it weird that I want to start singing Crosstown Traffic right now?
And in fact, he has just lost his top 10 position to Rick Martel. Honestly, is there anything weird that you do at this point?
From my perspective, not at all.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. I mean, if you are still amazed at the behavior of my colleague here, I don't know what to tell you.
Crosstown Traffic. That's why I asked. It's like, is it weird? You tell me. Maybe you're not the best judge.
I'm not the best judge for this. I've been around you too long.
Correct.
I've seen you do weirder things. John Pachea currently running in 12th place in the Red Dragon. He's got Mike McRacken behind him along with Dennis Meissner. Welcome to the grid, Dennis Meissner. First race. You've commentated his races before, though. He was the Dane who drove the prototype in the Invitational Series.
On that note, there is a YouTube channel called Let Me Know, which isn't spelled the way you think it is. and he is, I believe, Swedish. And every now and again, he'll take a real stab at the Danes, but you can tell it's all really in good fun. He did one about language, and it was like, I swear, I'd have to go back and watch it, but at minimum 2, maybe 4, like, stabs at the Danes, like, totally incomprehensible gibberish. It was very funny.
Richard Higgs putting the pressure on Joe Racer for 8th place.
Actually, I believe that's pronounced Racier.
And in a solid debut, Wayne Hutchinson's upped into 6th place. Doing a fantastic job in the Mercedes.
Run, rabbit, run.
Particularly interesting, 3 Mercedes in the top 6. This is a track where I would not have really thought the Mercedes would be strong. The Porsches having 3 in the top 6, that's not surprising. I think that car expertly suits Sonoma. The Audis are, however, not doing great. 4 of the back 5 cars are Audis.
Maybe they should probably start driving some Innies.
It might be advisable.
Your last name starts with N. Time to get out.
I've been watching a lot of that, of various epic rap battles lately.
Oh, you don't want to mess with me. I spit hot borscht while I'm crushing these beats.
I've developed a new appreciation for Ivan the Terrible versus the various greats.
That was great. Oh, I'm terrible.
Oh, what a humiliating defeat. So, of course, take a seat.
I like the Alexander the Great when he referenced the Gordian knot. That was great. Fantastic. Well played, gentlemen.
There's no great who could defeat this Russian.
They even got a bestiality joke in there. Well played.
They did. The horse crack about Catherine. Battle for second continues here between Gerardo Del Valle and Simeon Naku. Simeon seems to be able to keep him behind, and admittedly Sonoma is a track that doesn't offer a tremendously large number of overtaking opportunities. So here goes Del Valle around the outside, but it's not going to work out. Doesn't really have the speed advantage over a car that is very similar to his own.
2 Mexican boys go around the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
In the meantime, not really a lot going on through the rest of the pack. Things are pretty well stationary. McCracken has moved up to 12th ahead of John Pachea, and I believe Dennis Meister has passed Bo Stamper. That's about it, really. Wesley Stokes making the move on Wayne Hutchinson right there in the BWT Pink Mercedes. Stokes up into 6th place. This is a big opportunity for Stokes. Most of the championship leaders are not here, as we referenced with a lot of race winners missing. And Paul Riccobeni, the championship leader, is down in 10th place. So both Neku and Stokes, who are championship contenders, really need to maximize this opportunity.
See. Did the Porsche ever make a 912?
Yes.
Really?
They did.
Whenever my ridiculous, dumbass thoughts come through, I don't understand that at all. Was it just like 2 extra horsepower, like 1 extra horsepower?
I don't remember the specific differences.
This one's got blue brakes.
The only real Porsche story I always remember is I was listening to the Hall of Fame of Motorsports, Autosports podcast, and they were talking with, I want to say it was Derek Bell, who had driven for Porsche and sports cars. And he just told a story about an engineer that he was talking about wanting to put into the Hall of Fame. He's like, the story I have that sums him up perfectly is I was walking through the Porsche factory with him one day, and he turned to me and he asked me, what is your RPM through the, I can't remember what track they were referencing, but it was a specific turn of a track. And he told him, and the guy pulls out a little piece of paper from his pocket, does a bit of scribbling calculations on it. And they keep walking for a while, and Derek's like, aren't you going to tell me how fast it is? And he looks at him and goes, I think it is better if you don't know.
Just don't let up on that. Just do that thing again.
Del Valle is still putting the pressure on Naku, but can he get around him with the very similar cars? By the way, battle here between Michael Schneider going on with Wesley Stokes. Stokes is absolutely cutting his way through the field like a hot knife through butter at this point. After his early on kind of not great qualifying effort, and then the collision with Joe Racer. He is on his way back. Speaking of Joe Racer in the background there is hunting down Wayne Hutchinson for 7th place.
I think Wesley needs to stoke up the boiler.
It would be advisable at this point.
More coal! It's clean coal, the best coal, tremendous coal.
Tremendous coal. Delvea still putting the pressure on Naku for 2nd place. Has not found a way around yet. He did try to go around the outside into this corner that we're coming up to right here, but he's definitely not really in position. And another battle between two Porsches is this one between Stokes and Schneider over 5th place, and I feel like this might be just a matter of time.
I'm going to say right now, if Gerardo goes in the wall and you don't make a Trump joke, I'm going to be very sad.
I have one prepared.
Excellent! Carry on. It's nothing personal, it's just topical humor.
Topical, political, incorrect humor.
I do enjoy that he's got Winnie the Pooh on there, but it's the rip-off Winnie the Pooh. Mm-hmm. Also, Haribo Coke bottles are delicious.
That they are. Pressure is still on here in this battle for 2nd, but is there a part of the track where Gerardo can really make the pass happen?
I don't know, but I'm definitely stopping at the bulk section. Oh, no, because we're going to do commentary like 2:30 tomorrow, right? My time?
Around that time, yeah.
All right, I don't have time tomorrow to stop at the bulk section of the supermarket and get some Coke bottles, but otherwise I would.
Wesley Stokes putting the pressure on Michael Schneider. Hasn't found a way around yet. John Pache has found his way back past Mike McGracken.
I don't know how that's possible.
Back into 13th place, and while we were talking, Dennis Meichner overtaking Rick Martel for 11th place.
I do enjoy that Mike McGracken fella and his modesty and making sure that he stays in the bottom third of every race he's in.
It's totally by choice.
Indeed. Sandbag.
Looks like something has happened possibly to Bo Stamper. He's dropped over a minute off the pack, so possible difficulties there for the Mercedes driver. Gerardo Delvale still putting that pressure on Simeon Naku. He would love to make up some major ground. He of course missed the Sepang and Chang rounds. So Bathurst and now here at Sonoma are his chance to make up some significant ground again with the absence of Nissan driver Ben Swarey. Martin Lauer's not here. Yevgeny Lazarenko is not here. Wesley Stokes putting all the pressure on. Yevgeny Lazarenko, of course, drives the BMW version of that car Michael Schneider is driving right now.
Well, since he's not here, I assume that he has been annexed by the Russian conglomerate.
It's possible. Just going to randomly just claim every time Yevgeny is gone, he's been abducted by the Russian secret police.
Yeah, he is in Gulag.
He's in the Gulag being persecuted for his beliefs in regards to tomatoes.
I'm gonna stick a pin in that because I'm gonna ask questions. But I had a sudden thought we need to rework. I'm in the jailhouse now. To I'm in the Gulag now.
That's true.
What's his opinion on tomatoes?
I don't think he has one.
Oh, okay. I just thought you had some actual concrete evidence because raw tomatoes are disgusting and a crime against humanity.
I just was picking something random.
I appreciate your randomness, but it also piqued an interest in me.
Wesley Stokes has not found his way around Michael Schneider as of yet. The pressure is still definitively on.
Michael Schneidmacher.
Further back, Dennis Meichner briefly got past Paul Riccobeni, but seems to have made a mistake in giving the position back.
Not to make a total non sequitur, but I'm going to do that. I noticed currently on my Steam friends list, your friend and I, Frosty Chillingsworth, is playing a video game, which I don't see very often.
What's he playing?
XCOM 2.
Makes sense. Caleb Gonzalez has randomly had his lead shrink to less than a second. I don't know what happened to the lead car.
I thought he was 10 laps ahead.
He was having a very lonely race, and now all of a sudden Naku and Delvea can not only see him, but may in fact be able to spit on him at this point.
I was going to say, they look like they're going to fuck each other right in the butt, and then he's going to get away again.
It's possible. You know that he's a slippery little eel, and he'll probably has a little bit of pace in the bag.
Are you saying just because he is of Latino extraction that he may or may not be greasy?
No, he's driving a snake car.
Oh, that. Well, they're not greasy, though.
Not greasy, but
nor eels.
They're slippery. And
they're not slippery.
They are eel-like. They are slippery in the sense that they have a very good ability to get away from things.
Racist. Yeah, because they're fucking aerodynamic as shit, and they're made out of armor.
Which makes them slippery.
Damn it. You have no concept of friction.
Yes, I do.
Giggity.
In the meantime, Wesley Stokes still hasn't found his way around Michael Schneider, and Gerardo Delvale has not found his way around Simeon Naku, so that continues. Meichner, though, might find his way around Paul Riccobeni. I'd like it if the camera would go to that battle, because that seems to actually be heating up between the two Audi drivers. I'll tell you who's having a lonely race right now, though, is Richard Hicks. It's about 8 seconds behind Joe Racer and about 10 seconds ahead of Riccobeni.
You can do it, Higgs. You can do it. Maybe not, but I mean, you can.
I'm sure that he's happy to be having that lonely race. He's got a very solid 9th place going on here. That's going to be a solid point haul for him. Gerardo Delvale is going for it into the final turn. Go back to that fight, please. Not to Joe Racer and Hutchinson, because we don't disrespect them, but we may have lost. The battle for second is being decided right now. They're going back and forth. Give me the camera.
Sucks. I understand that we have somewhat of a connection with the person who does the race companion, or whatever this is called.
He does. We do have the ability to give him input. Yeah.
I just think that if the time signature hasn't switched up that much between two cars, we probably should. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Little contact there from Simeon Naku. Delvale has at some point made the overtake, which was why I was getting worked up. We had a second place changed hands.
I just think that there should be a threshold of time where you just don't cut away, because this thing consistently cuts away exactly when somebody goes for a pass. So I don't have any kind of mathematical formula you can lay down on this, because that's really not my deal. But I think if there's clearly going to be a pass and the time signature within the game registers that, it should never cut away. It just shouldn't happen.
Indeed,
and probably shouldn't cut away for the next 30 seconds, really.
Indeed. Wesley Stokes has sort of lost the tail of Michael Schneider. Meichner has gotten through on Riccobeni into the top 10. Whoa! Gerardo Delvea has absolutely boned his car.
That is correct. And not only that, but those two guys have too.
Nope.
In a row?
They're running a train on him, it would appear.
37? In a row?
So Delvea will have to nurse his car around for probably another lap. Doesn't really make any sense to pit stop, because we are... we'll be on the last lap on this time around. And Caleb Gonzalez has opened up a 6-second gap at the front of the pack, so he's pretty comfortable up front. Naku has been handed second place on a platter. Ariel Zatoni has moved up onto the podium, followed by Michael Schneider and Wesley Stokes, which is the battle we're watching right now.
Word.
Delvea is in 6th, but I feel that's gonna change, because I see both Wayne Hutchinson and Joe Racer making up a lot of ground. They should be able to clear him without any real difficulty. Having no grip on the front end is going to leave him pretty vulnerable to attack.
I have one other suggestion to make for the race companion here. If anybody drops a lot of places in quick succession, I'd like to see why. I'd like to have a cutback to what the fuck's going on with that guy.
I'm not really sure if the cutback is really something that just exists within the code, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, but you can see somebody, when Gonzalez went from being however many seconds up to being barely a second up, I'd like to cut up there and see what the hell's going on with him. Or if somebody, say there's a bunch of carnage off the first corner, I would like to know, maybe I'm selfish, maybe I'm a dick, but I want to see that.
Indeed. So, as stated, the Racer and Hutchinson have gotten past Delvea. So Delvea is in 8th. I think he'll probably be able to hold that. He's still got 10 seconds to Richard Higgs. And as I said, this is the last lap here. Looks like Michael Schneider is going to hold off all the way to the end against Wesley Stokes for 4th place. And similarly, Wayne Hutchinson getting the job done in his debut with a very solid 6th place. Round of applause for the pink Mercedes.
That's the weirdest pink in the world, too.
And Paul Riccobeni, despite being damaged, has gotten back in front of Dennis Meissner. I do not know how that has happened.
Mr. Meissner has just not harnessed the Viking spirit. I don't understand.
Indeed, it looks like Mike McGracken hunting down the red dragon of the McLaren of John Pacheco in a battle for 13th position. Rick Martel just ahead of them in the 12th there. And,
it's perfectly legal to put him in the wall in the last lap. That's a well-known fact.
No, it's not. It's not any more legal than any other time.
And also, Rick Martel rocking the Gulf oil. Gotta rep the Gulf oil.
Indeed, and he has brought it home in 12th position. Here comes Dean Reimers, who will be the pole sitter for race 2, assuming no one loses connection from the server.
The Rhinoceros.
That is unfortunately what we like to call foreshadowing.
Dun dun dun.
It looks like Dean has picked up a little bit of damage to the driver's side front quarter panel, which would explain his lack of pace during the race.
It's just he's just shedding weight to make better time.
He is dragging the BC Lion car home in 15th position.
Which is disgraceful because BC Lions win the Grey Cup every single year.
And he will be the last one to finish. There is your results. Caleb Gonzalez sweeping both fastest lap and the race win.
It's like 2 seconds up on anybody else. That's disgusting. Almost.
He is insanely fast.
Second and a half.
Simeon Naku second, Ariel Zatoni third, Mike Schneider fourth, Wesley Stokes fifth. The front row for race 2 will be Dean Reimers, and this man, Mike McGracken.
Put him in the wall! Get up there!
We got about a minute and a half here before the start of the race. Stefan Gervais, now the focused car in the black and white Audi.
Ooh, what's this?
We have unfortunately lost Caleb Gonzalez and Rick Martel during the session. Like I said, there was some foreshadowing. This has allowed Stefan Gervais will start actually on the front row with Bo Stamper.
I won't tolerate this. The race is just not attractive enough to commentate on anymore.
It still is very attractive.
I don't know.
I mean, the absence of the model and the Gulf Oil car are,
irreparable.
Definitely.
Oh, there's Gulf Oil! Yeah, Gulf Oil, go! All right, we're back on board. We're good to go. We're all right.
Back on board.
We're good.
Is there Gulf Oil on this car? Where's the
I'm looking at it. If that's not Gulf Oil, somebody needs a lawsuit.
I don't think it is.
Oh, it's silvery. Okay, I got you. The graphics, sunlight hitting the silvery thing makes it look blue.
Yeah, the chrome thing it's a bit weird.
I'll listen. I'll adapt. It'll be okay.
The Joe Racer going to the school of Vinnie Roberts, driving the chrome car to distract everybody.
I'm good with it.
And going fastest in the session.
Gotta go fast.
And we'll finish up here on Simeon Naku, the silver leader, and the man who finished in second place in race 1. He'll start from 14th place. Don't damage the car before the race, though, please.
It's Simeon, as you've never seen on him before.
All right, the grid takes shape here. It will be Bo Stamper leading the way from Stefan Gervais, Dean Reimers, Mike Magasevich, John Pacheco, Dennis Meissner, Paul Riccobeni, Richard Higgs, Gerardo Delvalle, Joe Racer. We're waiting for Reimers to join the grid. He's the blank spot there behind Bo Stamper's blue or green and white and black Mercedes. And the man who will start from the very back is Simeon Naku, actually, who will have to battle from 15th place. He kind of got a little bit boned by the disconnects of Caleb Gonzalez and Rick Martel. We have red lights, red lights, red lights. Go! And we are off. One of the cars appears to have disappeared. It's Paul Riccobeni. He's developed cloaking technology. Watch out, everybody. Stefan Gervais is taking the lead at the first corner. Bo Stamper still in second from Reimers, McGracken, and then Meissner, Richard Higgs going side by side with Paul Riccobeni there in a battle for 6th place. They are ahead of John Pacheco, who's gotten one of his somewhat stereotypical weaker starts, although not a bad one, actually, still in 6th place. Michael Schneider and Simeon Naku. Paul Riccobeni is off. Mike McRacken off the track as well, but recovering. Losing a spot, though, to Richard Higgs and also a couple other people.
Dude, you just lost like 5 spots.
A lot of spots, yeah. Dropping from 4th place down to 9th place.
Why is the red car pulling a brakey in the middle of traffic? What the fuck?
I think he was losing control of the car a little bit there was what that was.
In the middle of the track?
It can happen.
Okay. What was it, a squirrel? Squirrel under the tire? A little slick spot?
You lose a little bit of control on the car, lose a little grip, and problems happen. And the McLaren being as low down as it is very particular about when it has grid. By the way, Simeon Naku, fantastic start. He's up from 15th on the grid to 7th.
I say raw there.
That's some great work there. At the front, it is Gervais, Stamper, Reimers, and Meister. And Higgs in the background there, followed by Michael Schneider and Naku. Delvea, McRacken, Pachea, Hutchinson, Stokes, Riccobeni, Racer has gotten off to a bit of a bad start, and Ariel Zatoni is at the back of the pack. Dean Reimers losing 3rd place there to the Viking Dennis Meissner, and he might be a guy to pick for a win here. He was reasonably strong in race 1, just had some consistency issues, and the 2 cars ahead of him were the 2 slowest cars in race 1, so he might be optimally placed here to make a good run.
I hear that Higgs are pretty smart.
And indeed, he makes the move there on Bo Stamper already, and Dean Reimers is looking to follow him through.
I hear that Higgs have, you know, the emotional equivalent of like a 5-year-old child, and I mean, they can find truffles all over the place.
They can.
Indeed.
Bo Stamper's still under pressure. Stefan Gervais has moved out ahead by about 3.2 seconds. So.
This is getting fractious.
Indeed, things are getting heavy here as Bo Stamper is a bit of a cork in the bottle here with Reimers, Higgs, Schneider, Naku, Delvea coming up the inside of Naku. Dean Reimers has moved up into 3rd position, overtaking Bo Stamper. Bo Stamper off the track. That is Bo Stamper out in the sand. That's going to remove the cork in the bottle for now, but it is an Audi 1, 2, 3 with Gervais, Meister, and Reimers out front.
Herr Stamper, hand me your passport. You have been stamped.
Wesley Stokes just made a move on 2 guys into the same corner.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Putting a move on Wayne Hutchinson and Paul Riccobeni. Should be mentioned, it looks like Riccobeni has damaged the front end of his car once again. Not been the day for the championship leader. Could have been a big day for him. A lot of his main rivals not here, and he's not necessarily made the most of it. I'll have to say that.
Is it possible that he's extremely drunk?
Maybe.
I would recommend it. I'm still trying to push for like a Friday night hit to pass, like 3 drink. It's a 3 drink minimum invite. Well, 3 drink minimum open invitation.
Ariel Zatoni, by the way, is definitely had something happen to him. He's way off the back of everybody else.
Indeed. I think that would be good. We need a 3 drink minimum, open invitation, Friday night race. I will live commentate. How does that sound?
I would not be opposed to this.
Let's float that boat across all of the admins and see what's up. Because even if I got to work the next day, I can at least have 3 drinks.
Richard Higgs well off the track and kind of closed the door on Simeon Naku there.
Little bump and grind.
Forcing the Porsche off the track. In the meantime, Dennis Meissner at some point has overtaken Stefan Gervais and has about a 2-second lead over the Canadian.
Can I just say that Dean Reimers is currently in 3rd?
Dean Reimers is currently 3rd.
Last time I saw, he was in 10th.
Not this race. He's been pretty close to the front all day.
Nope. 93rd place.
Michael Schneider is up into 4th place. He might be a danger man. He's definitely got some speed. Paul Riccobeni and Simeon Naku appear to have come to blows and are dropping back in the pack a little bit further as well. So in the meantime, it is Meister leading from this battle here between Gervais and Reimers. Then it's Mike Schneider in the background there in the first Porsche. Richard Higgs is in 5th place. Mike McRacken is up to 6th. Wesley Stokes 7th. Wayne Hutchinson, Gio Racer, and Gerardo Delvea rounding off the top 10. And
listen, I don't want to talk shit, but this might be the first time I've seen you gain ground in a race.
it's definitely not.
Fair enough. Like, I'm more than willing to be wrong on this one. Trust me on that.
Also, I've technically lost ground. I started 4th and I'm in 6th.
Yeah, but you went down to 9th, dude. And when I see you go down in the rankings like that, you often end up in, like, 13th. So, well played. Yeah. I would like to commend you in a kind of a backhand fashion, because it's funnier that way. Come on. And you're having a pretty good race here. So, fucking get out there and fire photon torpedoes.
Thank you. I'm coming for Higgs.
Lachlan Nichols not here for this match. Otherwise, I have a pretty good goddamn nickname for him, and it makes me sad that he's just not committed to racing. It's pretty sad.
I wonder if he'll be there tomorrow.
Perhaps. He'd better be.
In the meantime, Michael Schneider has gotten the job done against Dean Reimers, is up into a podium-paying position. I did say earlier I thought Dennis Meissner was the best place to win.
Oh my fucking god, Mike McGregor into 5th place, and you can suck 1,000 dicks, the rest of you chumps. I mean, oh shit, there's Wesley.
I have Wesley all over my back end.
God damn it, pull a brakey!
That wouldn't end well for me.
It's fine.
Wouldn't end well for me. Broken back suspension is not fun.
Broke back suspension, new movie. Starring Andy Blade and Martin Edmond.
I mean, it's not NASA Shark, but I am losing it.
I wish I could quit you, love.
In the meantime, Mike Schneider is all over the back end of Stefan Gervais. A battle of the 2 returning Zero veterans, actually, who have been away a while. Welcome back, Mike and Stefan.
Finally released from prison. Well done.
Good as I hope that's not the case.
I heard that they were in for a 7-20 stretch for breaking and tickling.
Paul Riccobeni putting the pressure on Gerardo Del Vea, so the damage to his car is not fully limiting his ability here. He's fighting for it. In the meantime, Mike Schneider's still on the tail of Stefan Gervais.
Mike Schneider
going up the inside, a little bit of contact, a little bit more contact.
No. Okay, all right.
Dean Reimers is not taking advantage of the contact there, and is now in trouble because he's right in front of this battle between McGracken and Stokes.
Listen, I got pretty good aim, so if I see shenanigans like that, it's my opportunity to do a little tick action and curling you guys into the kitty litter, and then it's like, I didn't have anything to do with it. They've spun out. It's their fault.
Wesley Stokes has gotten back past Mike McGracken up into 5th place.
No.
And the man on the hunt might actually be the man on the move. The man on the hunt might be Wayne Hutchinson, who's currently in 7th place there.
Stay out of the fucking field.
And moving up into 6th place.
I was trying to say nice things, and then you just throw. My God.
Richard Higgs very off the track there.
Listen, Higgs are delicious, but please don't increase your temperature on my account. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that not the Brazilian pronunciation? I'm totally mistaken.
Ariel Zattoni may be way off the pack, but he's got speed. He's taken about 30 seconds off of Bo Stamper over these last couple of laps.
Fucking damn.
He is on a charge.
I told you about the Brazilian guy we got to work now, right?
I believe you did, but I'm not.
Well, we got a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I caught his accent. He speaks extremely good English, but I caught the little T or the little CH on the T. I'm like, you're Brazilian? He's like, yeah. How did you know? I'm like, I watch a lot of MMA, which he didn't understand. Like, and I mentioned Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and it just didn't really register. Like,
they don't all do it.
No, I understand, but I thought it was like the equivalent of fucking soccer in Brazil.
They're not quite that big.
Apparently not. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, his name's Wallace, and I've started calling him the Walrus. For no reason. I mean, he's a slim dude. It's almost an anti-joke.
Wesley Stokes moving up into 4th place while we were sharing that information. Made a beautiful pass there on Dean Reimers.
Hey!
In behind him, Hutchinson is in a fight with McGracken over 6th place.
Fuck him up, Michael. Fuck him up. Clap, clap. No, never mind.
I believe I fucked myself up.
I try to be encouraging.
Whoa! Someone else was very off the track there. I'm trying to work out who it might have
been. A couple of them.
I believe it was Stefan Gervais. Anyways, McGracken now fighting with Paul Riccobeni in his damaged Audi. Richard Higgs in 10th place there.
Oh shit!
And Magas is pointed the wrong, or McGracken is pointed the wrong way.
You need to change your name like literally every race. Every different spelling and configuration you come up with.
I mean, it'll be back to Magas at some point. The McGracken thing is more just paying homage to my late mother. So.
Release the McGracken!
When you figure out, when you pair in her maiden name, it makes no sense, actually.
It's just, there are a few, Phil McGracken. Like, there's a few jokes I can go with that I haven't until now.
Delvea moving up into the top 5 as Dean Reimers makes a little bit of a mistake there. Wayne Hutchinson's in 4th place. Jesus.
That's not too bad.
That's kind of come out of nowhere.
Run, rabbit, run.
Stefan Gervais is holding off Paul Riccobeni and Richard Higgs. Battle for 7th place. McGracken has rejoined in 12th. Although is very rapidly catching up with one. In fact, we just went to him overtaking John Paget actually for 11th place. You
can do it. Simeon's catch. He had a large fuck up, and he has not dropped back to the. He's definitely in the back third, but he's the top of the back third.
Stefan Gervais off the track.
Why would he do that?
Big opportunity. That's the second mistake Gervais has had in a row in that corner. I'm wondering if perhaps there's some damage to his car.
Stefan, don't call me Ricky Gervais. And
he rejoins ahead of McGracken. This is, of course, a classic battle that looks like there's definitely some damage to the Audi of Gervais. He didn't even really put up a fight.
Nor should he, for the lord of the race, Michael McGracken.
In the meantime, it is still Dennis Meister leading by about 1.5 seconds over Michael Schneider. Wesley Stokes is up into 3rd ahead of Hutchinson. Delvea. Reimers is still hanging around there in 6th place. Congratulations, Dean.
Dean the Death Machine.
Paul Riccobeni, despite having a damaged car pretty much his whole race, is in 7th place.
Can we call him the Boogeyman?
Richard Higgs, Simeon Deku, Mike McGracken rounding off the top 10.
Mike's drunk.
Not drunk. That was asparagus, basically. Actually.
Ooh, asparagus is delicious.
It is, especially when you wrap it up in bacon, you put it in the pan, you do some olive oil. Though I didn't have any olive oil today, so I had to use corn oil.
Neutral.
Okay. It was fine.
The absolute best way to do asparagus, I'm going to totally just derail the whole thing. We got 6 minutes left in this race. It's all right. The best way to do asparagus is you juice your oven to the max, 500 degrees or whatever the fuck it's capable of. You put some foil down on a tray, you put your asparagus down in one layer, you hose it with a little bit of oil, roll it around, salt and pepper that shit, roll it around on the tray, stick it in for 5 minutes, take it out, roll it around, stick it in for another 2 to 5 minutes, depending on your oven, and you pull it out and it's perfect, it's delicious. Some of the ends are crispy, like the little fronds at the end are like popcorn crispy. Fucking phenomenal. Best, fastest, easiest way.
I'd have to work some Hungarian paprika into that.
Jawohl, mein Herr.
I do love mixing the Hungarian paprika. In the meantime, Dean Reimer is doing a fantastic job of holding up Paul Riccobeni. And the race win is in the balance here. Mike Schneider has caught the Dane, Dennis Meissner, at the front of the pack. It is Porsche versus Audi for the win.
Mike Schneider is in the hunt.
And I feel like Dean Reimers is in a lot of danger here.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
He has got an absolute train behind him, and in fact, they all just went through.
You know what Dean Reimers do with $1 million?
What would he do with $1 million?
2 chicks at the same time.
I feel like you can do that with a lot less than $1 million.
Not the kind of chicks that he's into.
I suppose.
I haven't watched that movie in so long.
Gerardo Delvea still putting the pressure on the back of Wayne Hutchinson here for 4th position. That, of course, is the pink BWT car that was driven last season by Alex Hayes to much success.
Hayes!
Shout out to Alex Hayes. We'd love to have you back on the grid.
Alex P.S. Hayes.
Oh, don't insult the man.
Well, I'm trying to refer to the glory of Michael P.S. Hayes. Whereas once he became the WWE... You know, it took me, like, probably a decade to figure out who the fuck that guy was. That he was actually in a tag team that meant something. All I know is he's some weird, fat, blonde, going bald, greasy guy that did segments backstage at wrestling events. That's all I knew.
And you were the WCW guy.
Yeah, he was... When was he ever in WCW? Was that a thing?
Well, I mean, he was in the Jim Crockett Promotions leading into
that. Didn't exist. Listen, was it before 1989?
I want to say he was probably still in it in 1989.
I have to go back and check stuff out.
In the meantime, Simeon Naku, Paul Riccobeni having a hellacious fight here between the championship leader and the Silver Cup leader over 7th place. Richard Higgs just ahead of them, probably silently praying, just willing to race gods for a little accident behind him, maybe.
Get him, Pablo. Pablo Richard Riccobeni.
Riccobeni looking to make the move. He might be through, and he is for now.
Tight skis, nice.
It takes a lot of balls to make that move. That turn that they just went through, that is flat out.
And then he went to kitty litter and he fucked it all up. He gone. Oh, no, he's still got it.
He still got it.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
In the meantime, at the front, Meissner is still holding off Schneider. Schneider definitely has the pace. But does he have the pace where it counts? Because there's not a lot of overtaking zones on this track. You have to have balls of steel, really, to make it work sometimes.
What about balls of tungsten? Too heavy? Not race-worthy.
Probably would hinder your ability to get into position. But if you were in position, the balls of tungsten.
You start pounding away, oh yeah.
And of course, the longer this fight goes on, the more it might bring Wesley Stokes into the picture, as he is catching relatively rapidly. It's down to about 2.5 seconds.
I'm stoked.
In the meantime, Gerardo Del Vea has found his way around Wayne Hutchinson. I believe we missed that. Hutchinson down to 5th. Still
That's
very solid.
That's the dumbest
run.
pink in the world.
BWT car?
That's just the dumbest pink. It's the... we're going to make it pink, but we're going to throw some fucking sand on it.
Yeah, there's a Formula 1 car with that paint scheme for the last couple of seasons.
Hot pink or fuck off.
I would largely agree.
Or you could go with the pastel blue and the pastel pink. That'd definitely catch your eye, 100%.
I mean, pink in general in race cars.
You'd have to put a bow on the spoiler, but I mean,
I like they have that same paint scheme on a couple of the newer Audis, and I think that actually looks a little bit better. I think they darkened the pink a bit.
Yeah.
Mike Schneider putting the pressure on against Dennis Meissner. This battle for the win, which would be the first of the season for both these men. It would be the second win of the season for Audi, second win of the season for Porsche, regardless of who brings it home. Wesley Stokes is still in 3rd. He's caught up about 7/10 over the last little bit. Simeon Naku is putting the pressure on Richard Higgs. There's a lot of battles going on right now, but not a lot of opportunity to actually make the overtakes happen. Although, speaking of that, Mike McGracken did overtake Dean Reimers.
I was about to say, Mike McGracken clearly kicking the absolute kangaroo shit out of Dean Reimers right now. What a loser.
A little bit. The battle for the lead still continues. We will have one more lap to decide this thing. It looks like we've lost Bo Stamper at some point.
No, Bo, what the fuck?
Ariel Zattoni, still probably one of the fastest men on the track right now, still in 14th place.
Je ne comprends.
Simeon Naku tried to make the move there, could not make it stick. They're coming into the hairpin. Actually, this may be the final turn of the race. It looks like we actually we might have a winner? Dennis Meissner? I'm not sure. That is the one thing I'd like an improvement on, a little checkered flag next to the cars that finish. That'd be great.
Yeah. That would be ideal.
And Reimers trying to get back past McGracken. This is like a historical battle. These two have been fighting each other for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, without the checkered flag thing, it's very much of I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, it's a little tough. John Pacheco having a little bit of a problem there. I think the race has ended, but I'm not entirely certain. I thought we were going to get another lap, but it doesn't look like we did. That's the problem with a timed race, I suppose. But I believe we can safely say that Dennis Meissner has taken his first win of the season. Yeah, I think it is definitely over. Dennis Meissner has won from Mike Schneider, Wesley Stokes, Gerardo Del Vea, the 3 Porsches directly behind him, Wayne Hutchinson, Richard Higgs, Simeon Naku, Paul Riccaboni, Mike McGracken, Dean Reimers, Stefan Gervais, Joe Racer, John Pacheco, and this man Ariel Zatoni bringing up the back. But with a 37.733 on the board, that might actually be a fastest lap of the race, despite the unflattering race position.
Jawohl, mein Herr.
And indeed, I am correct. Fastest lap to 14th place finishing Ariel Zatoni.
Kicked the absolute living shit out of anybody on a 1-lap basis. If you could put a bunch of those together.
No, Wesley was only about a 10th slower. He put up a 37.
I don't want to hear that shit.
But
you
very
kids
much
in your math.
But very, like, comparatively, for example, the winner of the race put up a 38.6 as his fastest time, and that's 9/10 slower than what apparently Ariel Zatoni was capable of doing.
Well done, sir. Now you need to put up like at least 20 of those together in a row.
Wonder what happened to him, because he fell way back early on, so definitely some kind of contact or something.
I'm going to go ahead and blame your boy Clap.
Wasn't here, you can't blame him for that.
I can and I will.
Anyways, we are off to, I believe, Laguna Seca for the next round of the championship. Tune in tomorrow, Saturday, for live commentary with me and Byron.
Jawohl.
We may be joined by someone else in the booth. We will see. And until then, have a good day.